Welcome to our channel. We are going to be talking to you about the amazingly beautiful EA Island, which is part of the Okinawa Prefecture. It's just one of the outer islands that you got to take a ferry to. And it's a super short ferry too, about 30 minutes. And we actually took our car because we decided to go camping. We stayed there one night and it was so much fun. I highly recommend doing that. You can do it as a day trip, but having that extra day and a half, it was well worth it.
It was. We got to see a lot of things that you wouldn't be able to see in a day trip. The island's not that big, so you could, like Jessica said, you could do it in a day trip, but then you're cutting it short in a lot of different places. So the ferry ride takes off out of Motobu Port, 30 minutes. Then we docked over at EA Island, got off of there, and we went straight to the campground. It's the only one on the island. I don't remember the name of it.
We'll write it below.
It was about $15 for a tent and 5 of us. We got camp set up. Then we took off to, what was it called?
The very first stop was Niathia Cave. Don't know if we're saying that right, but that's what we think it's called. And it was beautiful. Like, you get to explore all these different crevices, and it's right on the ocean. There's no beach there, but it is super, super pretty. Highly recommend going there. And then after that, we decided to go to, I wrote this all down so I haven't forgot, Wajee Viewpoint. And this was spectacular. The views were incredible, the coral below, everything was so good. And we actually took our car and drove down the road and decided to snorkel there. And that was amazing.
It was. There were cracks and crevices that came up off is on the ground. It's all rock, no beach really there. And the cracks came up off of the ocean, 30, 40, 50 yards. And they were deep. We jump into them. They were only 4 or 5 feet wide. You jump in and it's about 30 feet deep is where we jumped in. And then we snorkeled out to the ocean, and we ended up seeing a shark out there. Just a little guy, 4 or 5 feet long, big enough to scare you a little bit, but it was really cool. There's from what I could tell, it was a white tip shark.
Nice. Yeah, and we went there at low tide too. That's super important because we were able to walk out on a lot of the rock and get to the deeper stuff pretty quickly where a lot of the coral is. And some of our kids and friends were able to stay up on the rocks and play in like the tide pools, which was We decided to go on a hike up to, oh goodness, I have it wrote down, Iajima Tachu Peak. And that was really cool to see. Another must do while on the island.
It's the only peak on the island. You can see around the whole thing, and it's all agriculture around you. You can see the ocean. It's not very big. The island's pretty small, but it was a cool view. It's a definite must do as part of that island. And after that, we went to a beach.
Yep. Yeah. Oh, also about the hike. The hike was really easy to do too. It was it was a lot of stairs, but the kids of all ages can do it. It was really easy to do. Yep, exactly. And then we went to GI Beach at the very end, and we stayed there until we had to get on our ferry. Our ferry left at 4. We got there at 3:30. Always good to get there early and get your spot to make sure that you get on. And anyway, so we went to GI Beach. It was a beautiful sandy beach, and there was definitely more of those like little overhanging cliffs, so you'd have shade. And the coral was a long ways out though. Like if you want to snorkel there, you have to swim how far?
400 or 500 yards out. It's a ways.
And it was really choppy water when we went, so it was quite a bit of a swim. But if you hit that at low tide, then you could probably walk out 90% of the way to get to the coral. But it was beautiful coral. It was more like the flat top coral, like fan coral, and there was lots and lots of fish. So highly recommend doing it if you are up for that.
Couple things about the island is they have a lily festival. It was supposed to be going when we went, but because of COVID, it was shut down. So there were lilies around, just not nearly as many as what there are at the festival.
Yeah.
And the cave, the Niathea cave, if you go there, the low tide is a good time. You can walk it. If you go at high tide, you may have to swim part of it. So you could snorkel and see some of those caves. but at low tide, I would definitely recommend low tide.
Yes.
Couple of things we saw right from our tent on, what was that, Sunday morning? Sunday morning when we woke up, we were able to see a sea turtle right from our tent. He was surfacing quite a bit. We never caught up with him out in the water. We saw a sea snake and we saw a stingray, but we never caught up with the turtle when we tried to go swim with him. And that's about it.
Yeah, it was an awesome, like I said, day and a half little trip, and being able to explore this beautiful island. We will definitely be back. We went the beginning of May, which is when the Lily Festival typically is, and it was warm and sticky, and so it was not ideal for sleeping in a tent, but so I would definitely recommend trying to do that in maybe the winter months, so then it's not too hot. And share with us your favorite part of this island and maybe places that you would recommend going and seeing, and then make sure to subscribe and to like our videos and to share them, of course, too. But stay tuned because we have lots more coming your way of all of our adventures while living in Okinawa, Japan, and our adventures around the world, and so much more. So thanks, guys, and stay tuned.